pupils to experiment this method. And now, good morning, everyone. I'm Fulvia Corazza from SFOM, and SFOM is a big school with some of 800 students. In this school, we've got since 1993 the Suzuki department, which is has got more or less 100 pupils nowadays. It started with 15 pupils, and nowadays it's got more or less 100 pupils. I myself, I'm a violist, and I'm proudly a violist, I have to say. And I started with the Suzuki Method myself when I was more or less 5 years old, and it was completely by chance, because just because the professor who introduced the Suzuki Method in Italy just came living next door. So they decided to teach some pupils to experiment this method. And now in Italy, after that in Turin, it happened in Turin, in the northern west part of Italy. And then nowadays there are many Suzuki schools spread around Italy. And so just to say something about my method, this method that I use. I'm trying to just to share the screen. Just a moment. Okay. Can you see it? Everybody? Can you see the screen?
Yes,
okay,
we can see it.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, so that's what I said before, and then I'm playing and teaching, and it's been some 25 years that I experiment myself this method as a teacher. So that's something about Mr. Suzuki. Mr. Suzuki has had a very brilliant and simple idea. He was he's born in Japan, and in a moment when all things from the West and the Western culture were sort of banned from Japan. But his father had a very big factory of music instruments, traditional music instruments. And then he was able to copy during the night a violin. And after some years, it was the biggest factory of violins in Japan. And his son, Shiniki, was just a sort of he taught himself the violin. He was very passionate about music, and thanks to a count that was noble and could have some money to bring him in Europe, he went to Berlin and was able to meet at the age of 22 the Berlin intelligentsia, such as, for example, Albert Einstein. And they played together quite often during this period there. When he was there, he had this idea, because he said, well, this German language for me, it's so impossible. But German children can speak this German language so brilliantly. So he had this idea that when you start speaking a language, you start from the very beginning, listening to it, to your parents, to the environment that is around you. And so he thought that the ability was not so inborn and the talent was not so inborn, but it was something nurtured by the environment around the children. And so he thought that uh, applying this concept to learning music could be a good way. And this years, we have to say that ESF was the point of view about education to children was changing. We had the Montessori method that was around and just starting to do some experiments. So it was a really fertile earth for the education to children. So if you are interested, you can see the ESA, European Suzuki Association site to know more about Mr. Suzuki and his life. He was a Zen and Zen person. His religion was a Zen, and so in his this aspect was in his mind with the education. These are these most important points of the Suzuki method. It's important to start with the playing at the age of 3, 4. And but before we know that the brain is building up knowledge. So as soon as it's possible to listen to music, to sing inside the family, all this stimulates the brain of a very young child. And normally we start at age 3 with some rhythm things, rhythm classes, and some you can see some dancing, singing, and some little rhythm with instruments made of wood, something like that. So the importance of listening to music is core, because the more you listen, the more you build up your ear, and now it's common knowledge. And learning to play before learning to read, because it's quite normal for a child to speak without knowing how to read the letters, how to read the word. So it's possible, as you know, to learn for a little child without learning really a score and music, because the brain will be able to do this learning stuff just at the age of 6, so 5, 6, just later on. But we can do something about education with music long before. The student teacher parent triangle, it's core in this method, because the teacher and the students are very active, but the parent might be too, because the student at the age of 3 or 4 is not able to organize himself during the week for the the study at home. So the parent is very important, and it's involved from the start, and it will leave its importance little by little during all the years that will build up the student self-confidence. And so a nurturing and positive learning environment is important. So it is core that the learning, especially the stage of the beginning, it's something very joyful and we use many games, and apparently games that are something just for fun, but that are carefully thought to build up the knowledge of playing string instruments or the guitar or many instruments that are inside the Suzuki family. High standard of teaching and training of teachers is very important too, because you cannot really improvise yourself if you are not trained in this kind of matter, so dealing with little children. And another thing is the importance of producing good sound in a balanced and natural way. So in this on this aspect, we need to always take care of the body and the relaxation of the children when he plays. And we try through these years at the beginning to get rid of most of the tensions that are quite natural when you hold an instrument at that stage. There's a core repertoire that's used by the Suzuki students across the world. That is quite important because it's as having a language for everybody. Using the same pieces in all the Suzuki schools builds a language, something that even if you are not Italian or Spanish or Portuguese, and we meet together, we can speak the same language, playing a piece all together, the piece that all of us know. That's quite important. So the social interaction is very important, and in this matter, the Suzuki International Association organizes very often the get-togethers with all the children around the world in order to meet and share experience and experience the teaching of many different teachers at the same time. So in this, I will show you a little video of a concert in our home. $1,700 students there. Moment to be there.
Fulvia, I can see the video.
Are you seeing it? No? Can you see it? No.
So now we can see it.
Maybe. Okay. Play. This moment. And so, okay, so getting on now. Can you see the presentation again? Can you see it?
Fulvia?
Can you see it? Yes? What's happening?
Well, I didn't see the video, actually. I think it's a problem of your connection.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's anyway. There's the link down.
Just a second. I'm going to turn off your camera to improve your connection. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Perfect.
Continue, please.
Okay. So that was yes. Sorry. That's okay. So that was the main thing about main points. But we could talk about each point of them for hours. It's just some impressions that I wanted to give you today. So that's the Aosta school, our experience, as I told you about this. We had 3 teachers and 15 pupils at the beginning. And 3 years later, we had the first orchestra. The orchestra now is divided in 3, the very little ones and then the junior ones that are more or less around 10 years old. And then there's a senior Suzuki orchestra, which is more or less lower secondary school ages, so more or less 13 teenagers. And lately we constituted a chamber orchestra with grown-up students, with a SFOM grown-up students, in order to have a string chamber orchestra for our school. Because all our children wanted to, and grown-ups, teenagers who finished with the Suzuki program, wanted to keep on playing together, because it builds some friendship that in some cases this is very long during life, what you do in this early stage. And so we had some DVD, something that was for our art orchestra and Suzuki gatherings and European events. And then we had this, I don't know if I can start as a little video now. This is for, we had a 20 years celebration, and that was the grown-up concert. The Suzuki Orchestra, all the children with a choir of the school, which is called Canto Leggero. And it was the final concert. the final concert was in a nice palace in Courmayeur. And so we were playing on ice. This, you know, this green thing is just a mat on ice. And so it was very, very refrigerating to play in on this ice. But there were some dancers, and so it was a very nice show about in that moment. So maybe I can, if I can show you this little video as well. I don't know. Aside. Okay. Tell me if you see it. Try to make Italian public clap, not on the beat, but off beat. It was quite impossible for our culture to play offbeat. So I had to struggle, and I couldn't do it. So I have to think about something else in the future about this matter. So getting on, we saw that's this, and no, this, oh, no, sorry. Okay, let's go forward. So, talking about the practices. So listening and imitating, this is very important from the beginning, because they cannot read, children can't read. So it's really important for you to show, for us to show what to do, and have them imitating our doing. So for this, it's important that teachers know all songs by heart, and we study long years in order to get all the volumes, Suzuki volumes by heart. Playful approach to learning is, I told you already before, that's very important. And the importance of synonyms, I put it there because with children, in my experience, I've noticed how much it's important to use the right word. Maybe one word is not sorting effects, and once by chance you use a synonym of that word, and straight away they do what you're asking you to. So the language with children is called not too much, not too long, but very important. When you know that a word matters, and you keep on using it because it sorts some results. So man is son of his environment. This is the Suzuki, one of the most known Suzuki quotation. It means that the education of the environment is important. The children can will play, will if somebody in the family enjoys music, if there is music getting around the familiar environment, the school environment, all around a child. So this is very important to nurture this this environment with good and artistic inputs. Practice as a habit, as a part, it has to become a part of a daily routine, like having a snack in the afternoon, like maybe a run during the morning. But the child really needs to have a routine. Is very dependent of time of the day. So we have to always to tell the parents that how much is important to have a daily routine and to play more or less every day at the same time. Older and younger people's relationship, it's also core because there's the younger feel that they can teach something to somebody, and that makes them feel very, very important. And the small ones are always looking at the younger, at the old, and so that's a very powerful relationship and interchange. So play by heart to be free, because when you play by heart, you don't have the music in front of you, even if after the age of 6 they start to read music as everybody during their studies. But to keep on and engaging the brain, the memory, and the knowledge of what they are doing with the instrument is very important, because they are free of the visual predominance of what is written in front of you with the music score. And this it stimulates complex brain activity in general. Playing an instrument, we all know with the neurosciences that how it's important to play an instrument for a child, and it develops the creativity and the good taste, because the music and arts and everything, it's so important in order to grow up a nice human being. And as soon as possible, play together, because we can always do something with a stick or whatever to put them together and enjoying the group. And so playing in an orchestra, better than me, that's an idea, sort of an ideal society, because everybody has to listen to everybody else and to say something. So it's really an ideal moral input we give to children when they play together. So the shared repertoire, as I told you, is an international as an international language in common. So when they get together, if they don't speak each other's language, and they have something still in common, which is the music. And through music, drag people out of the comfort zone. Because I have experimented with my school that at the beginning I was a bit afraid of saying to parents, "Oh, people, let's go, let's move and go to this or that workshop. And at the beginning, just 2 or 3 families agreed to do so. And they came from Aosta near Turin for the first time. And then I realized that other people came afterwards and saying to them, let's go to Turin, which is 100 kilometers far away, not so much. Next time, telling them, let's go to Rome, let's go to London, let's go to Davos. It was the same thing, just involved organization, maybe money, but it was so important for them experience that they will remember during their whole life. And then one thing that I missed, it was that we always have 1 week of the summer course when they live together, they eat and sleep together, and this too builds up a nice relationship, very lasting, and for parents too, for the families too. So those are in general all the things that are important for the Suzuki environment, for the Suzuki method. So that's the end of my presentation, and thanks for listening. And if you have some questions, I'm available to answer.